Hi there, thank you so much again for joining me on this channel. As always, I'm very grateful for all your previous views, likes, subscriptions and shares. It's great to be back after the summer break, and I do hope that you were able to have some rest and relaxation. For this video, I thought it would be fun to look at the movie The Prince of Egypt and explore some of the religious themes and ideas that come up in this fantastic piece of work. It's a quarter of a century since DreamWorks Studios' first animated film was released. The movie tells the story of Moses and how he led the Hebrew people from a life of enslavement in Egypt. The title, The Prince of Egypt, refers of course to Moses, but he wasn't born directly into the royal household. The Jewish people were slaves to the Egyptian Empire, and in order to control the population and fearful of them being overthrown, the Pharaoh ordered the babies to be killed. Thanks to his quick thinking mother, Moses was put in a little basket, placed down the river Nile, and found safety and was adopted into the royal household. The movie has a stellar cast. The voice of Moses is played by Val Kilmer, Iceman from the Top Gun franchise. His brother, Ramesses, who goes on to be Pharaoh, is voiced by Ralph Fiennes, Voldemort in the Harry Potter series. Their father is Pharaoh Seti, voiced by I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard Stewart. His queen is played by Helen Mirren, the voice of the narrator in the Barbie movie. And if that wasn't star-studded enough, Zipporah is played by Michelle Pfeiffer, who you may have seen recently in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Aaron is played by Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. And Miriam is voiced by Sandra Bullock from Speed and, of course, Ocean's 8. And there are more big names as well, but we need to crack on. One of the most powerful and poignant scenes in the movie is when Moses starts to understand and unpack his Jewish heritage. With a flaming torch in hand, he looks at this huge mural. The mural depicts the Pharaoh ordering the killing of the baby Jewish boys. He realizes how lucky he was to escape, and he realizes what Pharaoh was willing to do to keep the Egyptian kingdom going, that royal dynasty. As Pharaoh says to Moses, sometimes for the greater good, sacrifices must be made. It's a powerful moment where Moses begins to try and reconcile his life of privilege as a prince with his heritage where his people have suffered. Moses abandons his royal lifestyle after being involved in killing an Egyptian slave driver, and he becomes a shepherd. And it's while he is hoping he is going to have a quiet life that God appears to him in the form of a burning bush. He gives Moses the instruction to take his sandals off. By the way, it's quite interesting, for the rest of the movie he doesn't actually have any footwear on. And it's also interesting too because he's given the instruction to go and free the Jewish people. Voice of God, by the way, was recorded by lots of different actors who took part in the movie, but the most prominent one was Val Kilmer. So it's quite an interesting idea of how do you approach this idea of representing God in film. Moses, of course, does return to Egypt, where his brother Ramesses is now Pharaoh, and he entreats him to release his people. I think what's really interesting about the movie is how it explores that relationship between the two brothers, who at the start of the movie are very, very close, but of course now there is a huge gulf between them and an awful lot of tension. Part of that tension comes from the fact that Ramesses has inherited the kingdom. He is the most important person in Egypt. And yet, when his younger brother returns, Moses, he's very pleased to see him to begin with. But of course, Moses is coming with his own set of demands. Now, we live in a world where we go to see the movies or watching it at home streaming. We quite like to have an end credit sequence. Well, there's one at the end of The Prince of Egypt. Moses is an important figure in the Jewish, Christian and Islamic religions. Three of them are sometimes collectively known as the Abrahamic faiths because they can trace their family tree back to Abraham. Right at the end of the movie, there's a quote from each of those religions' holy books. I did think about doing a screenshot of it or typing it up, but actually I think it'd be fun for you to actually discover it yourself. I think it's a really lovely way to end the movie, and it's a reminder of how these three faiths share a great deal. And that's not the end either. The movie has been translated into a very successful stage show as well. Anyway, I think it's about time that I exited stage left. I have put together a few very simple resources, so if you want to use them in the classroom or wherever it might be, then just click the link down below. Most importantly, thank you so much for watching. If you are able to like, comment and subscribe, then please do so. I look forward to seeing you next time, and of course, enjoy your learning.